Dozens of passengers from a Melbourne-bound flight remain in New Zealand this morning after an engine caught fire shortly after takeoff. One witness has described hearing what sounded like a car backfiring not long after takeoff from Queenstown before seeing flames shooting from the back of the plane.
The Virgin Australia flight made an emergency landing at Invercargill. Steph Ferrier joins us now from Melbourne Airport. Steph, good morning. What caused this?
Good morning, Michael. Yes, Virgin Australia says that it's likely that a bird strike caused this engine to catch fire on the Boeing 737-800 just after takeoff from Queenstown in New Zealand, with 67 passengers and crew on board. And we saw some of those pictures from shocked people on the ground who heard these huge bangs and also saw all of those flames shooting out one of the engines before the pilots were able to actually shut down that engine about 40 seconds later. And we've also heard from Michael Hayward, he was one of the passengers on board, just how much this must have been quite a terrifying experience. This is what he had to say.
At 6 p.m, the sun has set. We're in Queenstown, so valleys around us, nice and dark, what we'd expect. Plane starts taking off, wheels leave the runway, next thing you know, bang. Flashes from outside the right-hand engine. We've flown into what we believe are birds, and so all we hear are boom, 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 bright orange lights filling up the cabin. And the next 30, 40 seconds, just flames spitting out of the engine, which is not quite what you want to see on an aeroplane.
Yeah, certainly not what you want to have happen when you're up in the air. And he says that it was certainly very unusual. And he's been flying for a long time, but has never been in that situation before. He says that there were some cries around him. Some people were panicking, but within minutes, everybody seemed to calm down. And he said that it was absolutely amazing, the efforts by the pilots. They shut down that engine straight away. Of course, just one engine, he said, isn't as great as having two, but it's better than none. And then the plane was forced to divert to Invercargill. He says everybody got out safely, and Virgin Australia says that all of those passengers are going to be now bussed back to Queenstown again to try to get another flight back to Melbourne. But we've heard from the Civil Aviation Authority over there, and they say that these sorts of bird strikes happen in about 4 in every 10,000 aircraft movements. So while rare, it can happen. It obviously just depends on where those bird strikes actually happen as to the severity of the consequences. But clearly, quick thinking by this Virgin Australia crew, and everybody is safe and back on the ground.